Good evening and welcome back to another episode of The Longing, where today we will be continuing to read the Iliad by Homer. So, let's get going. Now past the tomb where ancient Ilus lay, through the mid-field the routed urged their way. Where the wild figs the adjoining summit crown, the path they take and speed to reach the town. As swift Atrides with loud shouts pursued, hot with his toil and bathed in hostile blood. Now near the beech tree and the Scaean gates, the hero halts and his associates waits. Meanwhile on every side around the plain, dispersed disordered, fly the Trojan train. So flies a herd of beeves that here dismayed, the lions roaring through the midnight shade. On heaps they tumble with successless haste, the savage seizes, draws, and rends the last. Not with less fury stern Atrides flew, still pressed the rout, and still the hindmost slew. Hurled from their cars the bravest chiefs are killed, and rage and death and carnage load the field. Now storms the victor at the Trojan wall, surveys the towers and meditates their fall. But Jove descending shook the Idaean hills, and down their summits poured 100 rills. The unkindled lightning in his hand he took, and thus the many-coloured maid bespoke. Iris, with haste thy golden wings display, to godlike Hector this our word convey, while Agamemnon wastes the ranks around, fights in the front and bathes with blood the ground. Bid him give way, but issue forth commands, and trust the war to less important hands. But when, or wounded by the spear or dart, that chief shall mount his chariot and depart, then Jove shall string his arm and fire his breast, then to her ships shall flying Greece be pressed, till to the main the burning sun descend, and sacred night her awful shade extend. He spoke, and Iris at his word obeyed, on wings descends at the various maid. The chief she found amidst the ranks of war, close to the bulwarks on his glittering car. The goddess then, O son of Priam, hear, from Jove I come and his high mandate bear. While Agamemnon wastes the ranks around, fights in the front and bathes with blood the ground. Abstain from fight, yet issue forth commands, and trust the war to less important hands. But when nor wounded by the spear or dart, the chief shall mount his chariot and depart, then Jove shall string thy arm and fire thy breast, then to her ships shall flying Greece be pressed, till to the main the burning sun descend, and sacred night her awful shade extend. She said, and vanished. Hector with a bound springs from his chariot on the trembling ground. In clanging arms he grasps in either hand a pointed lance, and speeds from band to band, revives their ardour, turns their steps from flight, and wakes anew the dying flames of fight. They stand to arms, the Greeks their onset dare, condense their powers and wait the coming war. New force, new spirit to each breast returns, the fight renewed with fiercer fury burns. The king leads on, all fix on him their eye, and learn from him to conquer or to die. Ye sacred 9 celestial muses tell, who faced him first and by his prowess fell. The great Iphidamas, the bold and young, from sage Antenor and Theano sprung, whom from his youth his grandsire Cisseus bred, and nursed in Thrace where snowy flocks are fed. Scarce did the down his rosy cheeks invest, and early honour warm his generous breast, when the kind sire consigned his daughter's charms, Theano's sister, to his youthful arms. But called by glory to the wars of Troy, he leaves untasted the first fruits of joy. From his loved bride departs with melting eyes, and swift to aid his dearer country flies. With 12 black ships, with 12 black ships he reached Percopes' strand, thence took the long laborious march by land. Now fierce for fame before the ranks he springs, towering in arms, and braves the King of Kings. Atrides first discharged the missive spear, the Trojan stooped, the javelin passed in air. Then near the corslet at the monarch's heart, with all his strength the youth directs his dart. But the broad belt with plates of silver bound, the point rebated and repelled the wound. Encumbered with the dart Atrides stands, till grasped with force he wrenched it from his hands. At once his weighty sword discharged a wound, full on his neck that felled him to the ground. Stretched in the dust the unhappy warrior lies, and sleep eternal seals his swimming eyes. O worthy better fate, O early slain, thy country's friend and virtuous though in vain. No more the youth shall join his consort's side, at once a virgin and at once a bride. No more with presents her embraces meet, or lay the spoils of conquest at her feet. On whom his passion lavish of his store, bestowed so much and vainly promised more. Unwept, uncovered on the plain he lay, while the proud victor bore his arms away. Coon, Antenor's eldest hope, was nigh. Tears at the sight came starting from his eye, while pierced with grief the much-loved youth he viewed, and the pale features now deformed with blood. Then with his spear unseen his time he took, aimed at the king, and near his elbow struck. The thrilling steel transpierced the brawny part, and through his arm stood forth the barbed dart. Surprised the monarch feels, yet void of fear, on Coon rushes with his lifted spear. His brother's corpse the pious Trojan draws, and calls his country to assert his cause. Defends him breathless on the sanguine field, and o'er the body spreads his ample shield. Atrides, marking an unguarded part, transfixed the warrior with his brazen dart. Prone on his warrior's bleeding breast he lay, the monarch's falchion lopped his head away. The social shades the same dark journey go, and join each other in the realms below. The vengeful victor rages round the fields, with every weapon art or fury yields. By the long lance, the sword, or ponderous stone, whole ranks are broken and whole troops o'erthrown. This, while yet warm, still distilled the purple flood, but when the wound grew stiff with clotted blood, then grinding tortures his strong bosom rend, less keen those darts the fierce Ilithiae send. The powers that cause the teeming matron's throes, sad mothers of unutterable woes, stung with the smart, all panting with the pain, he mounts the car and gives his squire the rein. Then with a voice which fury made more strong, and pain augmented, thus exhorts the throng. O friends, O Greeks, assert your honours won, proceed and finish what this arm begun. Lo, angry Jove forbids your chief to stay, and envies half the glories of the day. He said, the driver whirls his lengthful thong, the horses fly, the chariot smokes along. Clouds from their nostrils the fierce coursers blow, and from their sides the foam descends in snow. Shot through the battle in a moment's space, the wounded monarch at his tent they place. And with that, we come to the end of the episode. So I will say my usual thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you all have a wonderful morning, evening, afternoon or night. No matter what time of day it is, I hope you all have a wonderful one of it. And as always, we will be back tomorrow for more of The Longing. Goodbye.